Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, October the 2nd. This is meteorologist Shay Gibson with Leading Edge Weather and SailFlow bringing you a preliminary forecast for the Alice Cup 2024 from Charleston to Rockville on this Saturday, and then from Rockville back to Charleston on Sunday. Winds look pretty good. The forecast looks pretty good so far. I know it's just a few days away, so things can change, usually do change, but I'm going to go ahead and run through the forecast. Let me put myself in the corner. We're at the Cora website here. And if you go to home, you can find the information about this race and others. Scroll down, sign up for the Alice Cup. Either one of these links right here will take you to the page where it gives you some information. If you haven't signed up for it, please do. It's not too late. Just know that the start times are gonna be posted. The final start times will be posted the evening before. But I do believe that both races are starting at 9 o'clock a.m. For the pursuit class that's leaving first, and some of the sailing instructions. But the sailing instructions are here if you want to go and take a look. Everything's there. It looks like this is going to be a pretty straightforward race out from the R2 all the way down to the turn into the Rockville area. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the surface map. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to back up just a little bit, kind of paint the picture of what's going on today and into tomorrow. We're going to see a northeast wind build down the coast. We have this ridge that's building up along the northeastern United States. And that's going to continue to nose down. We have a ridge axis created just about like this. We have this east-northeast blend coming into the coastline. A little bit of a shortwave trough offshore that's doing some wonky things with the winds right now. But in the long run, this ridge axis is going to continue to be inland, and then we're going to get this east-northeast flow each day. A little stronger, but will probably be about the same tomorrow, then a little strong on Friday into Saturday, where we're looking at moderate east-northeast to east winds both Saturday and Sunday. So that's looking good. Let's go ahead and go forward with this a little bit. We see the ridge start to break down just a little bit as a cold front enters from the west, but this high pressure that's following the cold front, the one that's pushing the cold front, is going to eventually reinforce the high pressure along the eastern seaboard as the blocking feature. So if we watch as we go forward, we see the high pressure of the Great Lakes start to head over. We still continue to see on Friday night this east-northeast wind diving down the coast driven by high pressure up here to the northeast. That'll continue as is. So it looks like we're in a pretty fixed pattern for several days here as far as that goes. Let me go ahead and try to get rid of that little tick there. There we go. And then as we go forward, we see the high pressure expanding east into Saturday morning. This trough, I'm going to point this out real quick. So we still have high pressure driving this east-northeast wedge down the coast. So overnight, Saturday night and into Sunday might get a little bit wonky. And one thing that we got to be mindful of is the surface map feature is showing this trough that's off the coast. Right, anytime you see this dotted orange line, that's representative of a troughing feature, meaning that there could be some clouding, maybe some potential storm activity over the Gulf Stream. So it pretty much aligns with the Gulf Stream here. But when you look down, you see this isobar moving up with low pressure coming up from the south. That sometimes will trigger a shortwave activity that comes in near our coastline, which backs winds a little bit more northeast or north-northeast even at times, and drops a few knots. So one thing I'm going to be looking for Saturday is to see how far up this goes. If it does cross over this trough and this little axis happens, and we end up with a shortwave feature, that could throw the winds off a little bit. And we're still 5 days out from even that from Sunday. So we'll have to continue to watch, but it looks like as we get into Sunday, that high pressure really just gets reinforced to the north, and we see that northeast wedge building down again. Maybe some backdoor front activities where there's going to be a stronger wind than what's forecast right now. Sometimes those backdoor sea breeze oscillations kick in, and then closer to the coast, we get in higher range of winds. So either way, we're looking at an northeast flow for pretty much both Saturday and Sunday. Likely in the mid to upper teens. We could see that. I don't think the models really catch it very well. We'll just use the Fort Sumter Front Range Light for the start on Saturday. We'll run all the available models. They've probably been refreshed since the last time I looked, but Saturday it looks like east-northeast winds. Now the AI model or the 2 kilometer, the Tempest real-time one for Saturday is really biting at the higher end of speeds. And I'm on board with that. Some of the models say that the high pressure is going to weaken a little bit, but I'm on board with this 12 to 16 knot range. In fact, it's a little bit over what that model says. The model would pretty much pin it right at about 10 to 14. I'm going 12 to 16 in the afternoon. So if you're leaving out in the morning, we'll have a modest northeast flow, maybe backing a little bit more northeast at the start between 7 and 9. Then after 9 o'clock, we start to see the winds back more veer more 45 degrees and over to 60 by noon, 65 degrees, maybe even 70 and locking in. So we could even see some full 90-degree swings east by Saturday afternoon after about 1 o'clock, where the model's really tilted in a little bit more. And I'm going to go with that simply because that's generally what we see with this kind of a setup. As we get into Sunday, that'll be pretty much the entire late morning through the late afternoon scheme before it fades at night. These winds generally do not hold up overnight unless there's a really strong gradient in place that keeps it going. It's usually the abundance of sunshine that couple with this direction of wind to get these moderate values. So I'm glad to see that the AI model is picking up one. I'm sure that as we get closer in time, the higher resolution models like the NAM3 and the 2 kilometer will also kick in for that as well. But going into Sunday, a very similar pattern. I think it's going to be a little bit stronger on Sunday because we get that high pressure reinforcement. So the AI is going up a little bit late too. I'm going to build it a little earlier. I'm going to say we're probably going to be in that 12 to 16 knot range by 9, 10 o'clock in the morning in Rockville, all the way down the coast where the gradient may be even a little bit stronger than Charleston. And then as you get out over the ocean, we're looking at 14 to 18 knots from late morning through late afternoon. So you'll be dealing with that same direction wind, east northeast, and possibly veering all the way 90 degrees east through the day. So that's going to be the wind forecast. As far as rain, I don't see any rain on that so far, but again, we do need to watch for this troughing mechanism that could throw shortwave action up the coastline. In that case, we could see clouding, maybe some drizzles or sprinkles. Typically, if you have a hot air mass with a cooler air mass like this arriving, you may see some thunderstorm activity, maybe some convection. So I wouldn't say thunderstorms with convection. Yes, that means winds could get a little shifty, a little bit gusty near where those clouds build in. So just be aware of that. We'll talk more tomorrow as I get the first initial forecast out. But as you're heading out and you're rounding R2 on this wind, you're going to be running with it, right? So I'd say run the rum line as best as you can. You've got this track basically from here all the way over. Well, that's not a very straight line right there, but yeah, over to the 2NE mark. And so you're going to be rounding the 2, R2 and out, and you may have a full backing where you're just running the rum line all the way down and then hooking into the coast. So that's going to be, coming back from Rockville, if we get that full east wind, then you're going to be in a different situation with direction on that, and you may have to go out and tack a bit to get back up into the Charleston Harbor. But once you turn that corner at R2 and head in, it should be pretty easy coming back in through the jetties and into the harbor. So you'll have full backing on that one. Just a little bit challenging for Sunday, but that's going to be the wind. Let's see the wind and rain. Let's take a look at our precipitation. So, nothing so far. This is just using a blend of models, and I'm just using a hourly precipitation where some of that light rain and that short wave comes up. Saturday into Sunday, maybe we get some of those sprinkles and whatnot, but I'm not seeing anything to be concerned about right now. As far as swell heights, these predictions are just a couple of days old. Let's see where they're at right now. Yeah, they're from 9/28, so we're still working off a prior prediction. I do anticipate this to grow. When we get into 10/4, 10/5, we get into Saturday, these swell heights might be coming up towards 4 feet. So I have to kind of plug in the end of the line there. I'm going to use Surfline to kind of go out a little further with guidance here. And we're going to run it from today. We'll see swell heights starting to build with that east-northeast wedge each day. We're going to get that northeast fetch, long fetch coming down the coast. And by Saturday, when you're out offshore, depends on where you are. In the closer end of the coast, the less, but most of the readings out to about 18 to 20 nautical miles are right around 4 feet at 11 seconds. So you'll have a long period with a little bit of a chop to it, right? And it should be all pretty much coming from the same direction, the wind and the fetch, instead of it being, a little bit more easterly or east-southeast. I know that the model is showing that right now, but I think the wind is going to align it at the surface pretty much. But you could have an instance where there's an east-southeast fetch and a secondary wind swell that's building over the top of that. So it might be a little bit bumpy, but at least you have 11-second period built into there. And that's pretty much Saturday right into Sunday as well, where we stay right around 3 to 4 feet out there. I'd say 4 feet, farther out, beyond 15 nautical miles, and probably within 3 to 4 feet, within 10 nautical miles. So that's going to be the forecast for the swell. I think that pretty much is a wrap for the preliminary forecast as we're looking forward. I'll be seeing you at the skippers meeting at Ashley Yachts. That's going to be Friday night at 6 p.m. after the happy hour, 5 to 6. But I'll come up with another forecast tomorrow, the initial first forecast, the official first forecast for tomorrow. But hopefully you'll tune in, and I'll make sure to put this on the website. So everybody take care, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.